Welcome everybody to a new episode featuring our new friends over at Rebellion Beer. For today, in honor of them, we're going to cook with beer. We're going to put everything we got going into it with some beer. We're going to make a couple different dishes. I want to talk about Rebellion for a second and how good their beer is. This is their beer. For anybody that just wants to have beer, you want to talk about just go have a beer, this is it. This is your beer. This stuff, it's light, it's refreshing, it's crisp. It's got a little bit of nice little kick flavor to it. And no aftertaste. It's going to be perfect. That's your everyday beer. You drink it with clam. I loved having a nice little beer and clam Sunday mornings to wake up. That's the beer to do it with. It's perfect. This here is their Majestic Milkshake. I hadn't had this before until last night. I tried one when I picked it up. Wowza. That is... Look at that. There's people texting us and wanting to know about it already. So there we go. It's fantastic. So it's... yeah, and they have all kinds of different beers out there. They got their lentil. The lentil beer, I'm going to be straight with you, is the one that hooked me on Rebellion. I love that beer. I've got a growler of it in the fridge. I'm going to bust it out here in a bit. I've got me come on now, a glass full rolling here first. Got to get through that one. They got all kinds of beer. Go into their little showroom on Dudney Ave here in Regina. If you get a chance, go and do a little tasting. They now have a little taqueria going in there. Some guys making tacos, kicking it, nailing it. They're just fantastic. They got little picnic tables outside. Once it gets nicer outside, you go sit there all afternoon and enjoy it. It's a beautiful spot, beautiful place, run by beautiful people. So for today, in honor of their beer, we're going to cook with it. So I'm going to make French onion soup. Easy peasy, right? Well, we're going to do a little differently. We're going to do what you would call Rebellion style, in honor of a rebellion. So we're going to cook with beer. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take onions. I got 4 onions thinly sliced, thrown in here with some butter. I'm going to cook it on the stove for about 45 minutes, get it all caramelized and broke down. And then I'm going to hit it with a bunch of beer, a bunch of beef stock, cook that up, and then we're going to hit it with some Dijon mustard, some bay leaves, and some thyme leaves, and a little bit of flour to thicken it. And at the end, we're going to hit it with some Worcestershire sauce, and then we're going to put in ramen noodles. We're not going to do the bread on top. We're going to throw in some ramen noodles, soak up that moisture, and make a nice French onion ramen soup with beer. So there we go. So that's our one dish. Our other dish we're going to do is we're going to make a little cream cheese, little dip with some cream cheese, some ranch, some green onion, some bacon, and beer. We're going to put the Majestic Milkshake into that bad boy and see how it turns out. I've made this one before with regular beer, but we're going to put that into the French onion soup. So we're going to go a little different, but a little Majestic Milkshake, whatever. So there we go. We're going to get rocking and rolling. I'm going to get these onions starting to cook. It's going to take about 45 minutes for them to cook down and caramelize. So we're going to get that rocking, get that started. Then we'll come back, we'll do our dip, and then we'll finish the soup after. So Rebellion Brewing, right? Beer Rebel, drink great beer. They do have fantastic beer. We're loving it. They were good to us. And so, well, appreciation of them. We're going to cook with it. So here we go. Rock and roll. Pupper Dog's is sleeping already. She's had too much excitement. Let's get her done. All right. So we got the onions rocking and rolling on the oven, on the stove, rendering down, doing their thing, and I'm going to get them nice and caramelized. It's going to take 45 minutes and take a while to get that done. So we're going to work on a dip right now. So this is a cream cheese-based dip. Nothing too fancy. We got 2 blocks of softened cream cheese in here. Then we're going to hit her with 3 strips of bacon. I'm doing it for my wife, so we're actually using turkey bacon today. I know it's not the same. I got other bacon. It's for the wife. It's turkey bacon. We're going to make it happen. I got some green onion here. I'm going to put about 3/4 of this in. I'm going to save a little bit for the top of it after. Got a cup of shredded cheddar we're going to dump in. We got a package of ranch seasoning, the powder. Dump that in there. Then we're going to take the Majestic Milkshake beer. and put in about, what, a cup, 3/4 cup, something like that. And then just work it all together. So I softened the cream cheese a little bit. Stir this all up together. Okay, so we got it all mixed up. Now we're just going to transfer it to another dish. Gotta get her into the fridge for a little while. Let her cool down and set, do its thing. So again, I'm just going to top it with a little bit of green onion. Put a little bit more cheese on top of her. Boom. So now I'm just going to set this in the fridge just like this. And I'll give her an hour until the soup's done, and then we'll give her a shot, see what it tastes like. Holy moly, that's good. Okay. You guys go away. I gotta lick this open. Alright, so our onions are nicely caramelizing in here. So now we're gonna hit them up with the sauces. I got about 3 cups of beef broth. Hold on, we're not gonna do that first. We're gonna hit it with this flour first. It's about 2 tablespoons of flour. Dump it in, stir it all around, get the flour incorporated with it. That's what's gonna make your soup nice and thick when we get to it. So it's all gone, there's no clumps, it's all white, it's all clear. So now I'm going to hit it with 3 cups of beef broth. And then I'm going to hit her with 1 can of beer. Real beer. Beer that tastes like beer. Not too heavy, not too sweet, not too sour, not too anything. It's just beer. It's a Grolsch style from Germany. Traditional beer. Fantastic. We're dumping the whole thing in. There we go. Then we're going to hit it with the tablespoon of thyme, and 2 bay leaves. Get those in there. Then we're going to hit it with about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Away we go. Now we'll stir this all up. This is the base for our soup. Here we go. There we go. Now I'm going to let this cook for another 10 minutes, just like that, to get everything worked together. And then at the end, I'm going to dump in the Worcestershire sauce and the noodles. Get it all together. Let the noodles soak up a little bit of moisture, and away we go. So, if you find that you don't have enough liquid in here, you think the noodles are going to use up it all, you can add more beef broth, or you can add more beer, whatever one you want. So, whichever you feel, taste it, see what it tastes like. If you want it beefier, go that road. If you want it beerier, there you go, it's a word. Add more beer. So, here we go. We're going to let this come back up to temp. Check on it again. Make sure you scrape the bottom of this bad boy. You want to get all those little brown bits off the bottom. That's where the flavor is. So, beautiful. Looking great. Looking great. Okay, so our soup is about done. I'm then going to dump in the, 2-3 tablespoons of Worcestershire Worcestershire sauce. Dump that in there. Give it a little stir. Now we're going to hit it with the noodles. I'm going to put in 2 packets of noodles at first to see how it looks. I want to make sure I leave a good amount of liquid with it, right? So you put too many noodles in and they're going to just absorb everything. So now we're just going to let this sit for a couple minutes, let those noodles cook and break down. And we'll plate it and eat it. Ooh. Dip, sitting in the fridge, chilling nicely. So there we go. Rebellion beer. We're cooking with it today. We got a dip. We got French onion beer soup, rocking and rolling with it, man. Yeah, I'm sipping on a nice beer. I got to finish Majestic that I made the dip with too, so I'll have to do that as well. So here we go. Be back in a bit. It's a penalty. Phones off. Back to business. Okay, I found this vagrant walking the streets outside. Figured I better feed him. Got a little extra food.
Sexiest man alive, 2027.
So here's our French Onion Ichiban Noodle Soup with beer broth. That's what we're calling it.
Ichiban.
But before we get to that, we gotta let Kevin try this. There's crackers right here.
Is it crab?
No crab. It is cream cheese, ranch, the powdered ranch, green onion, little cheddar cheese, a little bit of turkey bacon,
Turkey bacon.
and Majestic Milkshake.
Well, that's a hell of a combo.
I'll admit, I was surprised when I tried that.
Yeah.
The Majestic Milkshake makes it sweet. Everything else in there is a nice savory. Then you get the Majestic Milkshake that's sweet. So
That is cool. You take that to a dinner party. Let's be real. Sunday football, something like that.
right.
Like we see dinner parties. Well, that looks cool too. I like the onions.
Well, she's a French onion base. And then in lieu of putting the old crouton on top and all that stuff, we chucked in some Michigan. And this one's made with the Rebellion beer, right? One good can of that in there with some beef broth.
It smells great.
And there you go. So to make it traditional, here's a little cheese if you want to put it on top of your French onion. With some green onion and tomato if you want to make it like an Ichiban. I got some barbecue pork if you want to try that too, but
I think just for the color and everything like this looks
absolutely. You want to eat it with something?
cool. Yep.
See?
That's pretty sweet looking. See, sometimes Corey forgets close-ups, so I come over here and make
Never
sure the
forget
close-ups are
close-ups.
done. Everybody wants to see the close-ups.
Picture, my friend. Insert close-up picture now. So there you go. Give her a shot. What's that broth taste
Let's
like?
dig in. I mean, this is all about the broth. I can definitely taste the beer. It's like it's just kind of, it's not in the background. It's in the foreground.
It's there. It hits you. You got the French onion soup flavor that you're used to. The Ichiban really doesn't bring a lot to it. It just makes a different texture.
Just the noodles.
Yeah. But that beer flavor just it punches you. It's good.
You don't need the Ichiban. I can tell you right now. If you don't want it.
No, I just did that because I wanted something a little bit different. So it works for it,
If you're going to university or something, here's your meal for 4 days.
right?
Did you put any W sauce in it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That goes in at the end, right before I put the noodles in. I slop that in the noodles and let her sit, and away you go.
It's damn good. Now, I did a French onion soup. Watch that one as well. I did mine completely traditional, broiled the matzo cheese and all that. It's awesome. It's a great recipe. Takes you a while. This, what did it take you? 45 minutes?
No, we're pushing an hour and a half. Wow.
Oh, yeah. So
I had 4 large onions in here that I had to get to simmer down first, so it took a bit for there.
there's no way to cheat the broth then. Because
No,
you need a good broth.
You can't, because that's the soup. The soup's the broth.
Yeah, everything else is up to you. But the, you know what? Tomatoes is kind of good in a French onion soup. I've never had that.
It adds.
Fresh tomatoes.
Actually, got
and
some
French onion.
barbecue pork in there. I should have sliced up thrown in there too. French onion ramen. There you go.
Yeah,
Run with it, somebody.
that's what this is. This is French onion ramen.
With beer from Rebellion.
The good stuff. The Rebellion beer has just a different quality about it. It's so smooth. You know, it's like
It's made with love. You can tell they enjoy what they do, And you look at the packaging, all their cans are all done by local artists. They go the extra mile to make sure that what they're doing is looked after. So, and that's something you got to appreciate.
Even just the text, it has a texture to it that I could pick out of a lineup, right? With any other beer.
Like I say, that lentil soup or the lentil beer that they make, not soup, but the beer, if that was the last beer available anywhere, I'd be a happy guy. I could drink that every day.
That's a top quality Saskatchewan product there. AGT Foods. Like made with Saskatchewan lentils. How cool is that? Farmers, right? Hey, and wherever you're from watching this video, put that in the comments. People were doing that last night. It was really cool. It's Yorkton, Saskatoon, right?
Seattle, Phoenix, wherever you are, let us know.
If you're in Waka, Rostern, I used to live there, old hometowns back in the day.
They kicked you out?
Yeah, I was too good looking for the town. The ladies were lining up on Main Street. You know, you know how it goes.
The grannies?
The homeless ladies.
So there you go. We got our French Onion Ramen Beer soup. I like it. It's a hit. I'd make that again. Actually, I like it with ramen. I'm a ramen guy. I like it. Japan in there, so I like it. So may not be your thing, but do your thing. The broth is the star, and that's what you want to be the star. So.
Well, if you don't want the ramen, don't put it in. You put everything else in. The awesome French onion soup.
Yeah, go to traditional. Make it like this. Make it traditional way. Put the crostini on top, and then bake the mozzarella, Gruyere cheese, whatever you want on it, and do it that way. But
I like what you're saying. It's ramen French onion. Like if you put the noodles in.
It's something different, right? And that's what I like to do. I like to do a little bit different. I don't like the mainstream that everybody else does. I want to be a little bit off. So. And the cheese dip.
That's a winner.
That's a winner. Wiener chicken dinner.
Don't sell that short, because that is good. That is smooth, great flavor.
I'm surprised, and I bet you'll even get better the longer it sits in the fridge. So
the big cat knows what he's doing. He knows how to cook, folks.
Some days.
If it wasn't any good, I would tell you it's no good. But even his stuff with hot dogs has been good. So what does that tell you?
Hot dogs are good. What are they made with? Answer in the comments. Let's see what people think.
Yeah. I couldn't answer that without saying some stuff, but mind you, Harvest. That's not Saskatchewan. Is that Saskatchewan? Yorkton. Harvest does make good.
They got the best wieners.
Yeah.
By far.
100%.
If I'm buying hot dogs, they're 9 times out of 10 they're Harvest. And the only time I wouldn't is because they don't have the Harvest.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
The ones that look like paste.
Yeah, the little skinny guys.
Coming to a store near you, folks. Sizzle and Smoke Spice and Rub. I used this rub on a whole chicken in the slow cooker the other day. So I just coated it with the rub, rubbed it down, put a little chicken stock in there with the chicken in the slow cooker.
It's good.
It was awesome. And that's all I put on it. But that's another show.
Someday.
Yeah.
Okay, kids. Till next time. Yeah, Kevin's coming up next. He's making...
Don't know yet.
So we don't know.
That's how I roll. It's a hurricane.